just to, so people know while I'm digging, is a proposed letter to the, a proposed letter to the mayor. They've sent us 2 letters, basically criticizing us for not running the place properly, etc., etc. As you know, we have been making a number of corrections. We've been cleaning up our act a little bit. We're getting a little bit better every day, and that's positive. Now, we have to think here, see? I hear the brother say, oh, the police are going to do this, police are going to do that. Well, let me tell you something. The police work for City Hall. These people here tell the police what to do. That means our existence is a political matter, and we should deal with it in a political way. Okay? What they want to do, if we allow it, is to try to cast us as unresponsive, irresponsible, nasty, etc., 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 so that they can get a cry from the community. Well, wow, y'all got to do something about that. Shut them down. And then, of course, they get to say, well, we support the First Amendment and we support Americans' rights to protest. But you see, these citizens have demanded that something be done. Well, we, I think, are in a strong position to defend ourselves. We have a target, the banks. We are against the banksters, right? That's what started this whole movement. Understand that. We have been correcting ourselves. We shouldn't be ashamed of that. That is positive. Okay? This letter basically answers what they said to us. Okay? And at the same time, I think, ridicules them to a certain degree. Their unfairness, and gets to the core of the issue, that they really don't want us here for political reasons. For that, I think we should send this letter. Please look it over. Someone can read it if you wish, and I would like this body to endorse sending this letter back to the mayor. Okay? That's it. Now, hold on.
Maybe the letter should be read, because so we need to
it's pretty
hear the
long.
letter in order to.
Well, would you like to read it?
I will.
Oh, you want me to read it? Okay, I'll read it. The letter says, Dear Mayor Jean Quan, the city government and the people of Oakland, thank you for maintaining an open line of communications with Occupy Oakland. The camp has made a concerted effort to address your concerns as raised in your initial letter on Wednesday, October 12th, 2011. Thank you for writing to us today, that was yesterday, to recommend that we install fire extinguishers in the kitchen area. This is an oversight that we missed, and we are glad you pointed it out. First off, Occupy Oakland is committed to ensuring our community is able to use Oscar Grant Plaza and the amphitheater for all scheduled events. There is no reason for the organizers of the October 19th Science Kickoff, the October 20th United Policy Holders event, and the October 21st wedding to be concerned that they will not have access to the park. We are always happy to share our space. Let me continue. The expansion of Occupy Oakland cannot be contained. More people are coming every day. Oscar Grant Plaza is a demonstration of what is possible. It is a real community born in a time where neighborhoods are becoming a forgotten relic. This movement is irresistible, and there is nothing anyone can do to stop it. In order to ensure that the health and safety needs of our community are met, we must expand beyond the grassy area. If you'd prefer that we establish a second camp in a nearby downtown park, we're open to suggestions. Just as neither the city government nor the police have direct control over the actions of city residents and visitors, the General Assembly also lacks these Jedi mind tricks. Smoking marijuana in the plaza was quite common prior to Occupy Oakland.
Thank you! Another source of revenue, that's great jobs, people!
Unabated throughout the city. In fact, the issue of marijuana is such a low priority that it has been, instantiated as the lowest priority under Measure Z. As a camp, we are happy to officially prohibit smoking within tents, as it is a fire safety issue. But like our homes, the tents are private spaces where privacy must be respected. Just as we can't control what people do in their tents, we also are unable to stop people from littering or vandalizing property. But as a community, we do not agree that our space and city should be disrespected. We are organizing teams to pick up litter and maintain a clean aesthetic. You have mentioned that the cost of trash pickup itself has become prohibitively expensive for the city to bear. We are open to negotiating an agreement to share that cost. It is our understanding that the city's noise ordinance goes into effect at 10 p.m. And we see no reason why the city should hold us to a special standard. Typically, noise violations are pursued only after a noise complaint is received from a nearby resident. Again, we see no reason that the city should deviate from its standard operating procedure regarding amplified sound when the noise ordinance is in effect. It has been difficult for Occupy Oakland to power its essential needs. Without the use of the city's electricity during our first few days, we would not have achieved this success. Thank you for the electricity. Check this out. We're open to discussing a plan to offset the cost of the additional electricity we may draw from the city's power. We have found our own solutions, but the more options, the better. While we don't understand your preference for keeping, quote, interior home furniture, unquote, indoors, we are willing to substitute any interior furniture with an outdoor equivalent provided by the city. However, as we are the 99%, we don't have the luxury of owning 2 sets of furniture and insist on using what is available. The General Assembly has reminded everyone each night not to go in the oak tree. The vast majority of people have respected all of the trees in the park and the city's initial request. Again, not everyone will abide by the consensus process, but we have made a concerted effort to ensure that the trees are protected. Your request for us to remove the, quote, structures built into the infrastructure of the plaza, unquote, will be discussed at the upcoming General Assembly, and we will provide a follow-up response based on decisions reached through the consensus process. Finally, in regards to the lawn, the damage has been done. We are open to discussing ways to rehabilitate the grassy area in the future. Thank you for your understanding, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. You know where to find us. Power to the people. The General Assembly of Occupy Oakland. That is the proposal. I hope that you all decide as a group here that we send this, we forward this letter to the mayor. Thank you.
Did everybody get their papers? Everybody?
So now we're gonna take staff for clarifying questions people might have or pros and cons. To your left, over here where the wheelchair ramp is. We'll take clarifying.
I also appreciate how much effort went into that and how well it was written. And some of the one-liners are really great. I am concerned in general about the idea of responding in the with the language of the state, and they made a lot of assumptions about the relationship we have to them, and the letter sort of validates a lot of their assumptions that I'm not sure we want to validate.
Hello. Sorry, I got here late today because I was on the computer all day just looking all over the world because I saw 60,000 people in Spain doing the Occupy in Barcelona. Saw a picture on that on Facebook. Had quite a few good talks on Facebook because I stopped interacting with Facebook because I decided it's better to interact with human beings. I don't want to sit in the box, look in the box, talking about people I haven't even interacted with. You know what I mean? So, touching upon this letter, knowing that this is an international thing, and Occupy Wall Street has had quite a few statements that they've made. There's a statement in the East Bay Express right now that's incredible, and it's very similar to this, and it's very sarcastic, and it's very funny, and this is a fucking great statement. I'm totally pro this fucking statement being sent to the mayor, because it's telling them we're going to do what we need to do by consensus, and that's the way we do it, and that's the way we have agreed to it, and that is the way we have. We have agreed by consensus everything that we will do. And that's just stating the obvious. They should have known that in the first place, because that's what we've been hollering since jump. Thank you very much.
I'm down with what he just said.
Yeah.
This is an occupation, not a demonstration. I am not going to give the city any fucking money for fucking electricity or water. This is an occupation. We're fucking taking it. It's ours. We already paid for it. It's our fucking tax dollars. We already fucking paid for it. That's the fucking point. This is ours. Second, I think this is actually a point of process, is that a lot of this has already been brought up and talked about in the campers meeting, and this is something more for people who live here to kind of talk about at the campers meeting, not the General Assembly, which I feel personally is kind of like a forum for everybody in the movement to talk about and to come up here. It's everybody's mic. But this is something that like kind of represents like the camp and the people who live here. So it's should we talk about then as a point of process, I guess.
I did want to speak not so much to the content of the letter, although I do have some disagreements there, but with the basic premise of the letter. I do not accept their authority. I don't think we need to treat them as if they still have power over us. That's, for me at least, a basic premise of what I'm doing here. And I just wanted to very quickly read to you from a great essay I saw today, real quick. If the cops are being polite and the politicians are eager to make the protesters comfortable, it's not because they're nice. It's because they're not feeling sufficiently threatened. Thank you.
Oakland! Alright, first I want to say that I totally love the general sentiment that's in this. Like it pretty much just screams, go fuck yourself. But one thing that I kind of have beef with is agreeing to the city's noise ordinance. We have our own process. Now, I love to sleep. I would love it if all y'all would shut up at 10 p.m. But I do not agree with submitting to the rules of the city. We have our own rules.
We have to honor the point of process that was brought up. So I guess, yeah. The point of process that was brought up about how maybe this should be brought to the camping committee meeting and then Sorry, I haven't done this in 10 years and I never did it on a microphone, so. No, I do not want him to talk.
What's the point of process?
Never mind.
So this letter is a political statement, so it does belong here, actually, if we're going to send this. However, I have to agree with Sweet Potato in the sense that, like, this is a fucking occupation. The pros of this letter, it says, awesomely sassy, and it is a big FU, as the person said before. The cons are, is that we are opening up a dangerous path with the city. And that, like, if we continue to issue, letters and shit, we're opening up that channel of communication, which normally makes sense, but for us in dealing with the city doesn't. I don't know. So, yeah, I like the letter, but I don't think we should send it.
I totally agree with what the last few people just said. I would just like to sum things up by saying, total negation, no negotiation.
So this is a worldwide movement, and the government is completely befuddled, and the media is completely befuddled, and I think all we have to do is just stay here, and, we don't have to talk to these people. I think they're just saying, like, clean it up a little bit. So just, how about we just, we live here now, so maybe we should just like clean up our trash, and not, just be all sloppy, but just keep it a little bit tight. And I'm just saying that. But I don't think we need to respond to them. I don't think we need to do anything but stay here.
I wouldn't really fight that hard probably if someone wanted to send some sort of a letter. I like the tone of the letter, but I'm a little bit worried about entering in a negotiation about certain things with the city, about anything really. I feel like we probably shouldn't cut off our nose to spite our face, like just because the city wants us to do certain things doesn't mean we shouldn't do them. But I like the idea, for instance, when they're talking about, garbage, instead of trying to, pay the money or split the cost of it, why don't we just get some pickup trucks to drive our garbage out to the dump or something like that. I feel like there are similar solutions for all of these. And with regard to the grass, I think people were talking earlier about just building some gardens here, fuck the grass.
I don't know if we really want to enter a negotiation on that. I like the sentiment of the letter, and I really don't want to be negative about it. I just think we should really think long and hard about what we really want to send and the paths that we're going to open up to the city. So, thank you.
So, no, go ahead. We're going to close staff now. Just.
So I think one of the things that I hate about the way our government runs is that we think that we have to make decisions tomorrow, and then we have all this stupid, debt ceiling crisis shit made up. I'm talking. So I think we can maybe, if we want to send a letter, we could send a letter and say we're not ready to answer yet. We have an autonomous process. This is our process, because we are showing them what we want our society to look like and what we want our government to look like, and the model we're building up, we can show them by saying we have a consensus process and we're not just going to jump to your demands because we make our own decisions. So we can be autonomous and communicate with them, I think. But
I like the idea of being over polite just because it's what I do, so I'll sign it because I really dug the way it was phrased, and yeah, I'll discuss any of that. I agree with all the people who say that we're already done paying for what we are done paying for, though. But it's all about, yeah, we'll discuss things, and thanks for pointing these things out. And I really dig the idea of saying, adult to adult, I identify as a parent, talking to the government in loco parentis. We're the parents, they're not. And saying, well, thanks for your polite broach here. And I am totally open to negotiation. If you want to give me the entire budget of the city of Oakland right now, I'll accept it.
Hi. I'd like us to have some strategic teach-ins about strategy in terms of who we are talking with. So I'm very happy to hear that there's this Black Panther meeting happening tomorrow. I think we need to learn from people who have a lot of organizing experience, because I'm concerned with a certain trend that I'm starting to feel of some people who are kind of trying to really instigate and pick a fight with police and other forces when we aren't ready and prepared. Because if we want this to be a long-term movement, we really need to do some strategy building, some capacity building, and to have skills to be able to respond. And I'm afraid that if people are reckless and really pushing that fight right now, that this is going to get shut down and there's going to be violence to a lot of people that we aren't ready to really deal with. And so I'm just urging that we get smart, learn from people who have the experience and the history, and go from there. Thanks.
Okay, I think there might be amendment. No?
I was trying to get somebody else, so I didn't speak on the mic twice, but the amendment was to take out any form of cooperation or payment, take out any form of us obeying any rules of noise. Look, we're going to play the music till we want to play the music, and the consensus of us, we as a group, will decide when we turn our music off. The city's not going to tell us when to turn our music off. That whole paragraph, I think, should be deleted. That's part of the amendment. And the other amendment is about any type of negotiation. We did not negotiate to build the tents. We didn't negotiate to build the kitchen. We don't negotiate to have this microphone. Well, I don't think we should. I'll say I, and I hope we don't think we should either. So take all that shit out completely, and then that letter's perfect and still funny as fuck.
Just wanted to make a couple of quick comments. Look, remember, who is a letter like this actually aimed at? Is it really aimed at the city? Or, are we giving in? Or look, there are people who have never been to this occupation. They only hear about it through the media and sometimes word of mouth. We want to win those people over to support us. That is the aim of the letter. can the letter be changed? Obviously, the letter is not my personal project or Wolf's, my man Josh Wolf, or the other people that worked on it. No, it is not. It is an expression of what this General Assembly thinks accurately represents our feelings. But one, we should answer the mayor. One, we shouldn't be, non-responsive. And two, what I recommend is that we form a committee right now, and if people feel that there's some editorial changes that need to be made, they'll be made. This is not an ego matter. This is not my project. This is not my letter. It is our letter. And the way to do that, excuse me, please. The way to do that is to form a committee, make the editorial changes, and then pass it and send it forward. I think we also should make it available in the media and put it on our website. That is all.
So point of clarification. So you're detracting the proposal in order to form a committee?
Not at all. I'm not detracting anything. I'm just anything.
But no. I mean, for tonight, are we going to be voting on sending the letter or not sending the letter now?
As it is written, no. This
Okay.
body has a right to make corrections.
Why is he pulling it? That means we're not sending a letter? Ever?
I'm sorry, I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head. 104 yes, 42 no.
What?
How many states?
But
That's it.
Did the no mean that we're never going to send a letter?
Like I said, because I feel like both not sending a letter and sending a letter is an action. So it depends on what you.
Okay.
Depends on what you think is an action.
As a point of clarity, this does not mean that they cannot bring the letter back with amendments for tomorrow's night's meeting. So it may come back up in another GA. But we really appreciate people taking autonomous actions